Hello and welcome to another Culz Top 10. This week I'm going to be telling you my top 10 cryptids. So I did my top 10 list a little differently. I went and kind of looked and found some really unique and interesting ones that I thought were pretty fascinating. Some of them are obviously pretty known, but others I don't know how well they're known. Which brings us to number 10. So number 10 I chose the Thunderbird. So it is frequently depicted in arts, songs, and kind of communication of Pacific Northwest coast cultures. It has gained notoriety kind of like the Loch Ness Monster and Sasquatch. But I did find it as like a very fascinating thing, as like a kind of winged creature that as it would flap, it would like cause thunder, and then with its eyes it could blink lightning. But I find that very fascinating and kind of cool to think about. That's kind of like a giant like winged eagle or something. So number 9. Number 9 I chose the Kraken. Because the Kraken is an intense underwater beast, and there's been thought and some videos capturing creatures that could get that big, but there's not been actual physical proof of creatures like that existing. So it is really, I don't know, it's kind of terrifying what we don't know about our own oceans. So the Kraken could be a legitimate thing, whether it be an octopus or a giant squid. There's still the possibility of something that enormous being out there is just always a daunting feeling. Number 8, I did the Stellar's Sea Ape. So this one was interesting because George Steller, who is a well-known biologist for finding a bunch of creatures, saw something he couldn't really explain, and it definitely like threw people for kind of a loop. This creature was like a 1.5 meter long or 5 foot long, with a dog-like head, long droopy whiskers, an elegant but robust body with thick fur coat, no limbs, and a tail fin much like a shark. This creature was observed being very playful, inquisitive like a monkey, and after he observed it for a couple hours, he did try and shoot the creature, but missed and it swam away. Number 7, I chose the Beast of Examore. So it's the Beast of Examore, so basically it's like this cat over here, but instead, like kind of a more short-furred, large panther. Well, black panther, and it was kind of found in Examore, England, but it definitely could have been from someone that had an exotic black leopard or black jaguar that they just released. But it was still fascinating because there's like talk of it mentioning being like a phantom cat. Obviously they probably saw it at nighttime, or they just assumed it was a ghost. So number 6, I might pronounce this wrong, but it's Minvikio, but it's a giant worm. This creature was a Brazilian folklore, variously claimed to be a large fish to resemble a worm measuring from 20 to 50 meters. It would be a pretty large worm, or a potential tremor, which would be even scarier. It's kind of why I chose it, because it was kind of like, it could either be like a fish or worm, because like lots of worms can be kind of more adaptable to both sometimes. But it also kind of like, I was just like, wow, like a kind of like a real life tremor. That's pretty intense. Number 5 for me is the Mongolian death worm. It's been described in second-hand tales of monsters that have heard at gatherings of the Mongolian officials. None of those present ever had seen the creature, but they all firmly believed in its existence and described it minutely. So it's kind of like one of those ones where it's just like being passed down in tales. In 1983, a specimen of a Tatar sand boa was shown to locals who have claimed to have seen this giant beast, and they confirmed that they was the same animal. Number 4, I chose the Yeti, which is the high snowy mountain top, essentially large orangutan. I like to choose this one because opposed from like the Sasquatch, like this one would be a little bit more different. And yes, Sasquatches do mountain, but like a lot of snowy mountains is very slick, it's very unforgiving, so like they are going to have to be more adapted and more kind of built for a different type of environment, and maybe some sheer cliff sides or ice. So number 3 is going to be Bigfoot. Yeah, I'm kind of always going to, well, I might not always, but I'm definitely going to be throwing Sasquatch on there for a while, just because Sasquatch is a good cryptid and well known, just like the Thunderbird is. It's gotten lots of talk, and just like the Loch Ness Monster has, it's a big buzz. So for number 2, I went with the Grossno Dragon, and this is a Russian cryptid, which this one had a little interesting thing. It's known as Grozny. It's a lake monster which in Russian folklore is said to inhabit Lake Grossno near Adropol. In western Russia, it is described as resembling a dragon, but it dates back to the 13th century. This one, like many people, skepticize, saying that it could be a beaver or a giant pike. People always see it from far away, kind of like poking out of the water, but then when they get closer, it just goes away. Yeah, it was rumored that in the 18th and 19th century, giant creature emerged from the lake surface in the evening, but immediately submerged when people approached. It was said during World War II the beast swallowed up a German airplane. I've always been fascinated with dragons, so this one I kind of wanted to choose just because a dragon, kind of a serpent or beast would be really cool. Number 1 is the Parasaurolophus. So number 1 is the one, the only, the Loch Ness Monster. The giant Plesiosaur, as Keegan will tell you, is absolutely factual true.
No. Will not say it. Check out my top 10.
I don't know, this one has always been just such a big topic for everybody, because a lot of people think it's a Plesiosaur. There's potentially a giant eel, but there's always just been kind of a lure to it, and I don't know, it's just fascinating. A Plesiosaur nowadays is probably pretty unlikely, but would be pretty cool regardless. Well, I hope you enjoyed my top 10 list of cryptids. I kind of branched out a little bit and did some different ones that I found fascinating. Kind of want to see if we can do some fun facts with the group about some of them, or potentially all of our lists at one point, because we've already done some. Might as well do the others too. Why not make it fun? There's Mothman was just pissed I didn't put him in my list. If you'd like to check out some more of our top 10 lists, click the link up over here. And if you want to see more of what we do here at Culz Paranormal, check this link right over my face. If you enjoy what we do, give us a like and follow us on our journeys and our adventures. And then switch that notification bell from personalized to all if you want to be notified on everything we do here. Other than that, have a good evening now at this point, or night.